Hello again, and this is part 7 of What If Kamen Rider Kabuto Was in My Hero Academia, so let's start. Chapter 18 Villain's Plan. I don't own Kamen Rider Kabuto or My Hero Academia. Last time Izuku fought the villain Muscular and Big E became a rider helping him defeat the villain. Aizawa was running forward after defeating another villain before he melted. He then sees Kamen Rider Scythe carrying Izuku and Kota. Who are you? Aizawa said. It's me, he said. Aizawa knew that voice. Big E, so you got a suit like Narukami. Yes, Big E got it, but we need to warn Mandalay. Can you take Kota away while we go after her? Izuku said. She's with Narukami's bodyguard who was facing the other two villains you met. Aizawa said, but your injuries, you used your quirk without permission. Normally only Narukami would have been able to get away since he doesn't have one, but if you're going to Mandalay then let me tell you something, that made them curious. Later Scythe was taking Izuku with him while Aizawa was holding Kota. Mister, will he be alright? I never had a chance to taunt also that other guy. Kota said, talking about Shinji. I tried to punch him and he got angry because of what I was since he knew how I felt. I wanted to say I'm sorry. Will they both be alright? He starts to cry. Don't worry, knowing one of them he'll be alright with his speed. Aizawa said. Kabuto was with Mandalay and Pixie Bob were running around the area looking for the others and Kabuto said, something strange is happening. What? Pixie Bob asked. Something that's familiar to the Zectors. Kabuto said. With Susanoo he was blocking Spinner's sword as he pushes back the villain. Darn you. Spinner said. Magna was blocking Tiger's punches while Mandalay watches them. Oh come on, how is one bodyguard this strong? Magna watches Susanoo fight off Spinner. Scythe and Izuku came and Izuku said Mandalay. She got surprised seeing them. What happened? Kota is safe, but Mr. Aizawa has a message, he said, making her confused before nodding. Then all the students heard a voice. Attention all students, you're allowed to use your quirks, use your training to fight off the villains. So everyone is now allowed to fight. Kabuto said. That's good. Pixie Bob said. They then saw Kamen Rider Leaf and Pincher surprising them. Who are you? Kabuto said. It's us, New Day, they both said, surprising them. Wait, you guys have Zectors too now, no wonder mine reacted. Kabuto said. That's right, now we can help. Leaf said. Well, that's nice. Ragdoll said. But I don't like civilians have to fight. Pixie Bob said. But now we gotta help the others. Pincher said. Yes, now follow us. Kabuto said, and they went together. Magna uses the pole she had and uses it to push Tiger back. Ha, I got you now, but then he got tackled from behind and they stopped to see surprising everyone. They saw Mannequin Cat on top of Magna. Meow. A cat. Spinner said. Tiger and Mandalay got excited to see her. She's so perfect. Wait, could she be one of Shinji's summons? Izuku said, remembering Hama. Let me go, you filthy cat. Magna pushes Mannequin Cat off. She then jumps on all fours before she pushes her hands down and pulls them up, bringing another one of her, and she throws the copy to Magna before they both attack the villain at the same time. Spinner got hit by Susanoo, sending him to the ground, and Spinner got up to see Susanoo staring at him. What kind of guy are you? No way some civilian would be this strong. Then both Mannequin Cats start to slash at Magna's face, making the villain scream in pain. We gotta help them. Izuku said. Wow, calm down, you can barely move, plus let them deal with it, they're much better than them. Scythe said. Then we gotta save Kachan. Izuku said. Okay, then let's go. Scythe takes Izuku with him and they ran forward to the woods. Bakugo and Todoroki were facing against a villain called Moonfish who uses his to make blades to attack them. Shoto used his ice to block many blades and Bakugo said, I can deal with him myself. I must go. Moonfish said, but then many arrows rained down towards him, making Moonfish jump away with his quirk. The two heroes in training saw Hama on the sky and Bakugo said, "What is that freak?" Shoto then remembered him from when Stain attacked his classmates. He saw Shinji control it. Shinji must have sent him. Then the villain used his teeth to get higher and said, "What a feastum, I can't wait to try your flesh." He then makes his teeth to attack Hama while the bug flies back while shooting arrows. We must give it support, it might give us a chance to fight this villain off. Shoto said. Tetsu and Itsuka were running around the woods before they saw someone stop in front of them, being Kabuto and the two members of New Day. "Wait, you're that class 1A guy?" Tetsu said. "Shinji." Itsuka said. "Yes, also the two guys behind me are the New Day, Kofi and Xavier." Kabuto said. "It's us," they said. "Wow, they have the same suit as you." Tetsu said. "Shinji, did you see the gas that was around before it vanished?" Itsuka asked. "Yes, but don't worry, Susanoo take care of that guy." Kabuto said. "Well, he must be pretty manly to not be affected." Tetsu said. "Yeah, he's the best bodyguard that you can have." Kabuto said. "With Izuku inside." Side was running forward with Izuku, but then they saw Shoji with part of his quirk's body bleeding. "Shoji," Izuku said. He looks at them and said, "So you came despite your injuries, so who is he?" "It's me, Big E." Side said. "Big E, I see you came to help him." Shoji said. "You're injured too?" Izuku said. "We were attacked and I gave us cover to escape, with the attack triggered Tokoyami's quirk, even though he was desperately trying to hold it back." Shoji said. Izuku gets shocked since he remembered what Dark Shadow can do. "No, don't tell me." Izuku said. "Yeah, if we want to get through here, we'll have to face Dark Shadow first." Shoji said, and they saw Tokoyami being covered by Dark Shadow while it goes crazy. "Stay away from me, you'll die," Fumikage said. Scythe gives Izuku to Shoji and said, "I'm the only one of us that can even fight it now. But we need to hide from it for now." After he saw me get hurt, it made Dark Shadow go crazy because of what he's feeling. Shoji said. One of them steps on a stick, making Dark Shadow attack them, so they jumped away behind trees. "It's a monster that attacks anything it hears," Shoji said. "Forget about me, go and save the others," Fumikage said. "Wait, Kachan and Todoroki might be able to make a light we can use," Izuku said. "That might work, in fact, hold on to me," Side said, and Shoji did. He then taps his belt. "Clock up! Clock up!" He then went fast, but he wasn't the speed of light yet, but it was enough to make Dark Shadow follow them while Scythe avoided all of his attacks. They then saw the duo fighting against Moonfish while Hama shoots arrows. "Clock over! Todoroki, Bakugo, give us some light," Shoji said, and Dark Shadow pins Moonfish to the ground, shocking them. "Is that Tokoyami?" Shoto said as Dark Shadow destroys the ice. "It doesn't matter," Dark Shadow said. It then tries to get them while Moonfish got up. "Flesh, such tasty flesh, I won't let you take that away from me." He then shoots his teeth, but Dark Shadow grabbed him. "I don't care about you." Dark Shadow then broke his teeth before throwing him to a tree. Hama goes to attack, but he got grabbed and slammed to the ground before returning to his stone. Kabuto felt that and looks at that direction with the others looking at him. "What's wrong?" Itsuka said. "There's trouble there." He then transforms back and summons a new Zector, then Dark Kabuto 1 came and he catches it. Henshin. He attaches to the belt. Henshin. He then transforms into Kamen Rider Dark Kabuto before running off. Why did he change to a copy of his other form? Pincher said. Maybe it's stronger. Leaf said. Bakugo, I'll use my quirk to give light. Shoto said. No, I'll do it. Bakugo said. Then both he and Shoto jumped up and used their quirks and stopped Dark Shadow, freeing Fumikage. He was on the ground with the others around him. Thank you for saving me. With that power you managed to defeat the villain and Shinji's summon. Shoto said, and he picked up the stone to return it back. I was scared. When I saw Shoji getting hurt it made me felt so worthless. Because of me I let Dark Shadow go crazy. We'll talk about it later. He got surprised hearing that from Shoji. Wouldn't you say that to me too? We all have those moments. Learning from them, that's important. Side said. Now we must take Ka-chan back to camp. It will be better if we take a straight line through the woods. Hey, I can do it myself. Bakugo said. Alright, we will form a ground around him. Shoto said. I don't need your help. Bakugo said. Just don't fall behind. Shoto said, and they walked forward. Dark Kabuto was running forward, but then he saw 3 more Nomas appear and he sighs before pulling the horn. Cast off. Cast off. Then the armor comes off hitting them. Change Beetle. He then attacks them, hitting many of the Nomas back, and he then punches one away. Himiko Toga just fought Ochako and Sue and she said, there's too many people and I don't want to die, bye bye. She then stopped and saw Dark Kabuto fighting the Nomas and he then stabs one with the kunai gun before kicking another and putting him on its knees while his leg was on top of it. Then he presses the buttons. 1, 2, 3. He pulls the horn. Rider kick. Rider kick. He then powers up before he smashes Nomu to the ground, making it explode. Then he cuts the other one's head off before he slices the last one in half. He then stands up and she blushes seeing him before going away. Dark Kabuto was standing there before he heard a voice. Shinji, he looks back to see his friends, which includes the group that has Bakugo along with Ochako and Sue. They got surprised to see his new form. Okay, that's a creepy form of his normal one. Ochako said. You guys okay? He asked. Yeah. Shoto then throws him the stone and Dark Kabuto catches it. He got defeated by Dark Shadow. I see, but where's Bakugo? He asked. What are you saying? He's right here. Izuku said, and they looked back to see Eihei was gone, shocking them. Nice trick, right? They looked up to a tree to see a villain wearing a coat and mask. I took the lad you're talking about with my magic. He then shows a marble in his hands. A talent like his would be squandered where he cast as a hero. Will provide him with a grander stage where he can truly shine. Give him back. Izuku said. Give him back. What an odd thing to say. Bakugo doesn't belong to anyone. He's his own person. Don't be so arrogant. Mr. Compress said. We'll stop you. Izuku said. Right now. Shoto uses his ice fork to send spikes at him, making the villain jump away. Why the aggression? We merely wish to show him that there are options besides the fanatical world of heroism. He then lands on another tree. It's important to choose a path that aligns with your core values after all. He then looks at Dark Kabuto. Also, I must say you have potential. That surprised them. The way that you took them, those beasts, was very impressive. You would make a fine member. He then shows a second one, making them look to see Fumikage was gone. This one I picked because of the power he showed when he defeated Moonfish. You can't take them. Izuku said. Shoto then shoots a big spikes at him, making the villain run. Sorry, but I must go. All units, it's time to go. I have captured the target, and he looks at Dark Kabuto. I have found a future candidate for later. With Momo, she was with Yaosetsu from Class 1B. What is that thing? Yaosetsu said as they run. They were being chased by a Noma with chainsaws, but he was busy fighting hell spiders, so it gave them some time to avoid it, so they were fine. I don't know, but the other one saved us. Momo said. It then pushes hell spider back and starts to walk away. Wait, it's leaving. Yaosetsu said. Oh no, they got Bakugo. She then makes small device. Here, put it on its back. He took it and sneaks up behind it, fusing the device with its body before it went away. With the group, they were running after the villain, and then Dark Kabuto said, we're never going to catch it. Wait, I got it. Izuku said. Sue then ties the guys with her tongue, and Ochako used her quirk to make them light. Then Sue throws them away and they went towards the villain before they crashed into him, sending the guy to the ground. Dark Kabuto got up and he sees the 3 villains Dabi, Twice and Toga there, and he knew they would have to fight. Chapter 19 Rescue Mission. I don't own Kamen Rider Kabuto or My Hero Academia. Last time the group went to save Bakugo and Fumikage, who were both captured by the villains. They managed to tackle the one that kidnapped them, and they crashed to a different area where Dark Kabuto sees Toga, Dabi, and Twice. Wait, I know those kids. Who are they? Twice points at them. Out of the way, Compress. Dabi said with his arm out with fire. Compress then starts to change his body, making Dark Kabuto take note before pushes his friends away. Clock up! Clock up! He then dodges the fire and goes to the other side behind the villains. Clock over! Dabi looks back in shock and said, "He dodged me like that." Dark Kabuto then sees a sharp device going towards him, and he dodges to see Toga going towards him. "Hi Shinji, my name is Toga." She then tackles him to the ground. "I've been thinking since I saw you," she takes out a knife, "that you'd be so much cute if you bled a little more." Then Shoji hits her away. "Narakami." She then lands on her feet and said, "So that's how it is, you want to come between us. To be honest, you're not really my type, but I'll cut you anyway." "She's crazy," Shoji said. Shoto was attacking Twice with ice while he dodges it, but then Scythe came and makes Twice block his blades with his wrist ones. "No thank you, bug boy." "What the hell is this guy?" Shoto said. Compress turns back to normal and goes towards Dabi. "So you got him?" Dabi asked. "Of course." He goes to his pocket but felt something off. "Guys, we're done." He gave away his best trick. "I'm not sure what your quirk is, but it had to do with those little marbles, the ones you stashed in your pocket." Shoji takes out the 2 marbles. "So I'm getting these are Tokoyami and Bakugo. You rescued them," Izuku said. Compress laughs and said, "Well, color me impressed, just as I expected from someone with so many hands. How splendid." They then ran away with Shoto making an ice barrier. "Good job, Shoji." Moron. Dab goes to attack, but Compress puts a hand up. "No wait," he said. They ran forward, but then they saw the Nomu that attacked Hellspider. "Quick, this way," Shoto said, and they went to the left before the warp villain appeared in front of them. "Not his guy," Shoji said. "He's from the USJ," Shoto said. "The warp villain," Izuku said. "It's been 5 minutes since the signal. We already lost a target because of strange vines," Kirojiri said, making Dark Kabuto surprised. "Let's go." He then makes portals for each of them. "Sorry Shinji, but I'll see you later, okay?" Toga said, going inside the portal before Twice does the same. "Hold on, we're not leaving without the kid," Dabi said. "Don't worry, they were so proud of themselves for rooting for my pockets that I thought to let them bloat," Compress said, making them look at him. "But allow me to explain a basic tenet of magic if I'm flaunting something shiny." He then takes off the mask. "It's because there's something else I don't want you to see." He shows his tongue that has the marbles, shocking them. "He's got them," the group said before he snaps his fingers to reveal the marbles they had were ice. "Is that my ice?" Shoto said. "That's right, during the freezing attack I prepared dummies and slipped them into my right pocket," Compress said, making them run towards him. But then he got kicked in the gut, surprising them. The one that did it was Karakisha, kicking Compress in the gut, making him spit out the marbles. "A doll?" Dabi said. Toga then peeked out. "Doll? What doll?" She then saw her. "Oh my gosh, she's so adorable." "Get back inside," Dabi said. "Fine." Toga goes back. Karakishu then grabbed Fumikage and she goes to get Bakugo, but Dabi caught him, surprising her. "Oh, poor little girl, after all you're still just a doll." He then punches her away. Karakishu. Dark Kabuto caught her. "Release them," Dabi said. "We should next time take her for further investigation." Compress snaps his fingers, freeing them while Dabi grabbed Bakugo by the neck. "Checkmate," Dabi said. "Ka-chan, no." Izuku runs forward while they went inside. "Ka-chan, stay back, Deku." Bakugo said, and the portal closes, making Izuku fall down. They then looked at the fire while Dark Kabuto was still holding Kirakishu. Izuku screams and Dark Kabuto punches the ground while Hell Spider and Mannequin Cat go to his side. Dark Kabuto knows they failed to protect their friend. Many of the others were either injured or fine. The 3 villains that were defeated were arrested while the rest escaped. Ragdoll was almost attacked until Kirakishu saved her with her vines. Shinji was taken by the teachers for a talk while he was still holding Kirakishu in his arms while Susanoo behind him. He saw Izuku being taken to an ambulance since he got pretty damaged. New Day were helping the students that were injured too. Later at school, Shinji at the teacher's meeting room and he was holding Kirakishu with Susanoo behind him. It seems the League of Villains have tried once more, but we never expected them to attack the camp. Nizu said. Yes, they must attack because they saw Bakugo in the sports festival. Snipe said. Yes, the festival was supposed to show that UA is still strong after the first attack, but now it came with a cost. Nizu said, and he looks at Shinji. Young Narukami, there are some things I wish to discuss alone with the teachers, so it's best we talk about your friends like her. Okay, well, Kirakishu arrived when I got that letter. Shinji said. Wait, you mean all this time she was living in house all this time? Midnight said. You just never noticed her. She told me she's a Rasen Maiden, a special type of doll that needs a medium, which is me to allow her to use her powers. Shinji said. She managed to injure a villain and save one of the pussycats. She's strong, but what about those creatures? Snipe asked. That I'm not even sure. All I know, there are these stones that appear where if I find them I gain a new ally. Shinji said. If those stones are around the city or even the world. Present Mike said. Then it could be dangerous if any of the villains were to find them. Midnight said. We thank you for this information, Shinji. We will help find them since they are reacting to you the most. Nizu said. You may leave now. Shinji nodded and goes out with Susanoo. Are you sure it was a good idea to let him leave? Snipe asked. Young Shinji dealt with so much. He already told us that the New Day's belts are not ones he had, only Hatsum had one from him. Nizu said. Shinji was on his bike driving away while Kirakishu was still in his arms while Susanoo went home. They then arrived at the hospital and he goes in. He walks around the halls and sees his friends at Izuku's room outside of Momo. Shinji. Mina said, and they saw him. So the teachers let you out now? Kirishima said, and he nodded. Yes, they wanted to ask me a few questions. Shinji looks at Kirakishu, who is looking at him. It was because of me, she said. She talked, many of them said. Yes, look, I'll explain later. Shinji said, and he looks around. Where Momo? She went to talk with All Might. Sue said. Hagakure got hit by the poison for a bit until Susanoo got the villain. I wanted to save him. Izuku said, getting their attention talking about Bakugo. I was so close. Izuku, I also could have saved him too, but I didn't have the time to use my speed. Shinji said. But it's not over yet, we can still find him. Yeah, let's go get him. Kirishima said, surprising some of them. Me and Todoroki were here and we heard All Might talk, and he said Momo made him a receiver to track one of the villains. So you're going to ask her to make one for you too? Tenya said. What if it's true? Shoto said. You should listen to what All Might said. We should leave this to the professionals. It's not the right time for us to get involved, idiot. Tenya said. Maybe, but all I know is that at camp I couldn't do anything. I heard my friend was targeted and I just stood by helpless, so if I stand by and do nothing now, how am I supposed to call myself a hero or a man? Kirishima said. Kirishima, calm down. We're in a hospital, there's a better time and place for this dude. Kaminari said. Yeah, what Ida said is true. Sue said. All of you just listen to me for a minute. I know what you're saying is right, but still, come on, Midoriya, he's still within your reach. Kirishima said. We can save Bakugo. Well, for one certain, if I did anything I wouldn't be punished as much. Shinji said. How can you say that, Shinji? Tenya said. I know for a fact that quirk users need permission, while I don't have one. Shinji looks at Tenya in the eye. The New Day also feel bad about this. They wanted to help and they got the chance to do it. But if you're breaking the rules, you're acting like villains, not heroes. Sue said. No, those rules are only for quirk users, Sue. I don't have one, so that rules doesn't apply to me. Let me tell you something, if someone was right in front of you with a gun pointed at their head, would you wait or save them? Shinji said, surprising them. Should following the rules matter if we see someone is in danger? It's not the rules that makes the hero, it's what you do. He then walks away with Karakishu. Shoto goes next to him. We talked to her, if we go it's tonight. Shinji got it and walks away from the room. Are we going? Karakishu said. I am, but you? Shinji said. I need to pay that brute for hurting my face, I am not just a doll. She said. At night Shinji was standing next to the streets holding Karakishu and he saw New Day going up to him. Are you guys sure about this? Yeah, we can't let this go. New Day is supposed to inspire others. How can we do that if we just stand around? Veigi said. Alright, let's go. Shinji said. They went back to the hospital and he saw Kirishima, Izuku, Shoto, Momo, and to his surprise Tenya. Let me guess you came to stop us. Shinji said. Yes, you're even bringing civilians too. Tenya said. He didn't ask, we did. Xavier said. Yeah, we can't let that guy suffer. Kofi said. It's their choice, Tenya. Shinji said. Tenya goes to punch him but Shinji dodged it and punches Tenya instead, choking them. Why are you doing this? Tenya said. Because I don't want to sit by again and saw someone get killed or worse. Shinji said, surprising them. Let me tell you a story. That scene I described you was how I saw when I was little. My mother worked at a bank and she was at the counter while I was at the back. Then 3 robbers came with guns. They pointed a gun at her head and she gave them the money. No one moved, saying they shouldn't be involved, instead let the police or something take care of it. But the freak did something no one expected. He pulled the trigger. That made them shocked. Why? She gave them what they wanted. Tenya said. Do they think they care? All they wanted was the money, not if someone lives. I saw my mother's body in front of me. I can't let that happen again, not even to Bakugo. So call me an idiot all you want, I'm going. Shinji said. Plus it's not like we're going to fight the villains. Shoto said. Yeah, we're just going to sneak in. Kirishima said. Then I'll go too. Tenya said, surprising them. If someone like Shinji suffered like that, then why weren't anyone saving that poor woman? So we can't let something like that happen to Bakugo. Then let's go. Shinji said. They walked towards the train and Shinji said, if something happens, me and New Day can get us out of there. Yes, you guys are the fastest out of all of us. Momo said, and she takes out her device. So it's best we avoid physical combat. Good, and I'll be your watcher. Tenya said. That's our job too. New Day said. They arrived at the other city and they looked around. Well, we are going to need some different clothes. Xavier said. Well, I know a place. Momo points at a shop. They then went inside trying on different clothes. New Day were wearing suits that made them look like bouncers. Shinji was a suit and shades with Karakishu on his arms. Showtime. They went outside and Izuku said, are you a performer? Yes, with Karakishu I have a cover. Shinji said. Look, she pointed at the TV to see the news about UA with Lad King, Aizawa, and Nizu there. We are telling you all that the safety of our students is important. Nizu said. Why are they on TV? Kirishima said. Shinji narrows his eyes since they trying to make them look like villains. They do their job, but these leeches just care about making them look bad. Karakisha holds his hand and she looks at his face, knowing what he's feeling. We must look for Bakugo. Shinji said. Chapter 20, All for One. I don't own Kamen Rider Kabuto or My Hero Academia. The group arrived at a street and they were at a vending machine looking at a house. Shinji looks at it while looking at the machine. It's that place, I'm sure of it. Momo said. Well, that's good. Kofi said. But how are we going to get inside without being caught? Shinji said. Hey babe, they saw two drones trying to hit on Momo, making her scared. How about you come with us? Yeah, let us show you real men, the other one said. Shinji goes to her side holding her arm and said, sorry, but she's taken. He then takes her away with the others following them, and she was blushing the way he's holding her. They were behind an alley and looked at the house. It's too dangerous to be out in the open like that. It might not have as crowded, but there is still people. Tenya said. So we need another plan. Izuku said. Shinji then notices a small alley next to the house. Wait over there. They then went inside and Momo said. It's so small. You're complaining I'm bigger than you. Biggie said. Just keep moving, no one will see us here. Izuku then sees a window. There, we should be able to see through that window. We'll be blind by the darkness. Shoto said. 1 second, I'll make a night vision scope. Momo said. Wait, no need, I actually brought one along with me for this. Kirishima takes one out. How did you get that? Those things are expensive. Xavier asked. It doesn't matter, let's stack up together to look up. Kirishima said. Or you guys can just go up my shoulders. Beigi said. Kirishima goes up Beigi's shoulders and looks through the window. Xavier and Kofi helped Izuku. Tell us what you see inside. Tenya said. Got it. Kirishima looks inside with the scope. The place seems pretty trashed. He looks to the left before he got shocked. What? Shinji said. You weren't spotted, were you? Shoto asked. The left, the corner mid-area, look. Kirishima said, and he gave him the scope. Izuku saw and got shocked. Are those Nomas? Wait, are you telling me this place is where they keep those things? Shinji said, making them surprised. I see, this isn't their real base, but a storage where they keep those beasts. Karakishu said. Kirishima looks to his right and said, hey, they saw a giant leg going up with a truck on the foot. MT lady. Shinji said. Get down, they went down before she crushed the building, then heroes like the Pussycats, her, Dang Orca and Best Jeanist. They saw the heroes capture all the Nomas, and Shinji said, they came here to capture all of them. So the pros and the police are here. Shoto said. Well, is it over? Kofi asked. Everything is fine, the heroes were on top of it before we were. Tenya said. That's great. Kirishima said. Now let's go back home. Tenya said. Wait. Karakisha said, making them look at her, and she looked scared. There's a dangerous enemy coming. They heard a sound inside, making her use her vines to secure the wall, and an explosion happened, making them scared. Tamura has finally started thinking rationally and making decisions by himself. I do wish that you hadn't gotten in his way. They heard a deep voice on the other side, making them scared. You truly are a hero. They heard the voice of All for One, and Shinji peeks over to see Best Jeanist on the ground in pain while the others were away with some damage. You controlled their clothing to pull them away. Best Jeanist tries to attack, but All for One blasted him, knocking him out. Now I see, your strength comes from practice and practical experience, not raw power. I don't need your quirk, it wouldn't pair well with Tamura's disposition. All for One said. Shinji then saw a black liquid appear before Bakugo came out of it, surprising them. Then the rest of the villains came. Master. Tamura kneels before him. So you failed once more, Tamura, but you must not be discouraged, you'll try again. That's why I brought your associates back with you, even this child, because you judged he was important on your game board. All for One goes up to him and puts a hand forward. Start over as many times as it takes. I am here to provide you with help, all of this is for you. Okay, decision time. With my rider form I can take Bakugo away from them. Many use a distraction with Karakishu or even my summons. Susanoo could help, but if All Might can keep up with my speed, this guy can do the same. So what can we do? Shinji thinks about it before he looks up to the moon to see a glow, making him almost get the answer. Ah, here you are. All for One said, making them worried, but then All Might came down punching All for One, but he blocked it. I'll have you return my students all for one. All Might said. Have you come to kill me a second time, All Might? He said. He then pushes him off and he said, you have gotten weaker since the last time. You're one to talk. What about that fancy new mask that puts you in life support? All Might said. I won't make the same mistake again. I'll save Bakugo and put you back in prison. He then goes towards All for One. I'll end you and your league of villains. All for One arms then grew bigger and he said, sounds like you got your work cut out for you. This will be hard for us both. He sent a shockwave sending All Might flying and destroying some of the buildings behind him. Air cannon, plus spring-like limbs, kinetic booster ×4, strength enhancer ×3, what a delightful combination, maybe a few more enhancers next time. All for One said. He sent All Might flying like it was nothing. Shinji said. They then saw All Might come back to fight him, then Shinji thought of something before a red liquid bursts out from the ground grabbing them and Bakugo before taking them away. What was that? Tamura said. It seems there's a new wannabe here around. All for One looked up and saw Eliza on top of a building before she jumps away. The students were at a safe place and Bakugo saw them. What are you doing here? We came to save you. Shinji said, surprising him. Yeah, we couldn't just sit by let you get hurt. Izuku said, making him smirk a bit. You idiots. Bakugo said. You needed to be saved. Kirakishu said. Did that freaky doll just talk? Bakugo said. But what happened? Momo said. It was like what sent me there, but it tasted like blood. Bakugo said. Well, they look to see a jackal and chicken looking men. You children seem alright. Who are you, sirs? Tenya asked. I am Horace and this is Albus. Horace pointed at his friend. We came to have you kids be taken away to a safe place by our mistress's orders. Albus said. Your mistress? Momo said. Of course. Horace points at a limo. Go on, come inside, we'll take you to a safe place. It's best we listen to them. Tenya said and they go to the limo. They then saw Eliza was inside and she was drinking. She looks at Shinji and smiles. He then remembers. Wait, I remember you. Yes, my name is Eliza, she said. Wait, as in that singer. Kirishima said. Of course, I saw you kids were in trouble so I used my power to save you. Eliza said. What's with the blood? Bakugo said. Because blood is how I use my powers, she said. Don't worry, it's my blood. They went inside and Horace drives the limo away from the battlefield. They saw a TV that shows the news of the battle happening. It seems All Might is giving his all to save everyone that's nearby. Eliza said. How can you be so calm? Kirishima said. What am I supposed to do? I used my powers just to take you away and not cause harm. You're just lucky I was around to help you. Eliza said. Yeah, we should be grateful she was there. Izuku said. Then they saw the car stopped and Bakugo said, hey, why did you stop? There's a crowd in front of us. Albus said and Shinji looked outside to see everyone. Then a police came making everyone else hide and he peeks inside to see Eliza alone. Oh, you're Eliza. Yes, I saw the news and had my staff take me away. Eliza said. Well, be safe, miss, he said before walking away and the group came out. Then Shinji saw All Might block another attack but it made him transform back making everyone shocked. Is everyone seeing this? Reporter said. It's like All Might shrunken. Shinji then remembers something. Flashback. Before he went to the meeting, Nizu was waiting for Shinji at the halls. Principal. Shinji got surprised. Young Shinji, I came with a request, he said, surprising him. I fear that an old enemy might come after All Might, so I want to give you a chance. He gives him a piece of paper, making Shinji stunned. I need you to save him if he can't do it, so you have my permission. Flashback ends. He saw All Might standing there while many people are cheering for him to keep on fighting to defeat All for One. Shinji then gets out of the limo, surprising them with the Kabuto sector going to him. "Shinji, where are you going?" Tenya said. "The principal gave me one mission and I'll do it," Shinji said, surprising them before he grabbed the Zector and attaches to the belt. Henshin. Henshin. He then transforms and runs into an alley before pulling the horn. Cast off. Cast off. Change Beetle. He sheds the armor before taping the belt. Clock up. He then vanishes. Back with the fight. All for One charges another blast and fires, but then All Might and the other civilians vanished away. So a student came. He looks to the side to see Kabuto putting everyone away with All Might next to him. Young Narukami. All Might said. "Don't worry, All Might, because I am here," he said, surprising many people. All Might chuckles and said, "So you came to help, by the principal's orders?" "Yeah, so I can fight with you," Kabuto said. "So you are allowed to fight me. How tragic that heroes need a child to face me. But I remember you. I saw how many of the league see you as a potential member after they saw one of your forms," All for One said, and he raises his arm. "Clock up," Kabuto said. "Clock up." He then runs forward, but All for One did the blast, sending him back. "Clock over." "Impressive, but even I can use that speed," All for One said. Kabuto got up and points his hand up, making All for One sees the Hyper Zector going towards Kabuto, but he just a blast, destroying it. "So was that your plan? Looks like your future is destroyed," All for One said. "The future? You only fight to win, for power, but I fight for the future and I still feel it in my grasp." He lifts his hand up and the Hyper Zector appears in his hand. Insert Lord of Speed here. Impossible. All for One got shocked. Kabuto attached it to the belt and pulls the lever. Hyper cast off. Hyper cast off. He then changes into Hyper form. Change Hyper Beetle. Everyone was amazed seeing it, and he presses the button. Hyper clock up. Hyper clock up. The armor opens up with wings coming out of his back. He then vanishes and punches All for One in the face, sending him away. Hyper clock over. "I see, you surpassed light itself," All for One said. All Might then came with his arm bigger and punches All for One. "Don't forget about me." Kabuto then appears in front of All for One, punching at him, while all of his friends were surprised to see him fight a villain that made All Might have trouble. Then All Might gives a strong punch and said, "Now young Narukami." Hyper clock up. Kabuto activates it again. Hyper clock up. Then All for One was in mid-air before, while Kabuto pulls the lever of the Hyper Zector. Maximum Rider Power. Kabuto presses on the Zector. 1, 2, 3. Hyper Kick. He then pulls the lever. Rider Kick. He then does a Rider Kick, hitting All for One, making a huge explosion. Hyper Clock over. All for One was now on the ground and Kabuto was holding All Might. "Goodbye one for all," All Might said, surprising Kabuto. Then All Might points at a camera. "Now, it's your turn." Everyone cheered, thinking All Might will fight the rest of the villains, but Kabuto knows the truth. It was Izuku's turn to be the symbol of peace. League of Villains. They arrived at a new hideout and they enter an office to see the chair of the desk was turned around. "Hey, who's in my chair?" Tamura said. The person turns around to see reveal a man wearing a black suit with long brown hair and green eyes. On his hands was a watch. "Hello there, my name is Roger," he said with a smile. "What are you doing here?" Tamura said, preparing to fight. "Calm down, I didn't come here to fight, I came to help," he said, surprising them. "Help?" Kirojiri said. "Yes, I am an ally of All for One. We made a special deal in case something happened to him, so he needed someone to be there for you," Roger said. "What can you do?" Tamura asked. He smirked before getting up and raises the watch. Henshin. Kabuto. He then inserts it in his body, transforming into another Kabuto, shocking them. "I am the one that can defeat Kabuto." Now a new alliance of evil is made with the another writer and league together to defeat Kabuto. 1, 2, 3. To be continued. To be continued.